All right, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day. It is the last day before the All-Star break, and if you haven't noticed, things have been a little wild this weekend. I expect today to get pretty wild, and we see that in some of the lines today. So we're going to talk about every single game, and I will give you guys 6 best bets, half a unit day on this crazy Sunday. Kind of equate this to if you're in the workforce and you have a vacation coming up and it's Friday. Sometimes you don't care as much. So we might see some reduced efforts today, but we'll see what happens. Recap from yesterday. Poopy day. We had the Brewers -1.5. They ended up winning, but only by 1. They did cash our bet on the team total over 4.5. We had the Rockies and the Reds. Both teams scored 2 in the first 5. Rockies had a 2-run homer in the second inning to get their 2. Reds started off with a run in the first and then couldn't get anything across. Did finally end up winning the game in the bottom of the 9th, but did not cash for us. We had the Phillies -1, a letdown game there for sure. Phillies did not even win. We had the D-backs and the Angels, both teams to score 3. That was fairly sweat-free, so we did cash that one. We had the Yankees and the Cubs over 8. Bad read. I had a feeling the Yankees were going to score, and they did. They ended up scoring 5 runs, and unfortunately, the Yankees finally woke up in the bottom of the 9th and only scored 2. So we just missed the push there. So all in all, pretty crappy day. 2 and 4, down just under 2 units. So we need a bounce back day today. And I think we can make that happen. All right, so let's delve into this slate here. So first game on the card is going to be the Cubs and the Yankees again, kicking us off at 1:35 today. It's going to be Shota Imanaga going up against Will Warren. A big pitching disparity here in terms of the Cubs have the advantage here with Warren. The only thing that makes me nervous about Will Warren is his splits against lefties aren't good. 321 average against lefties, only a 13% K rate. Conversely, righties doing okay, 203 average with a 35% K rate, but hard hit percentage is high. It makes me slightly nervous. In terms of the wind, it's going to be blowing basically right to left. At some point, it might blow a little bit in, but it's going to be 82 degrees, only a 9% chance of rain. I would just give the advantage to the Cubs here. I would go right back towards the over. If it were me, I think the Yankees do wake up a little bit. So this would be one, almost went right back to the over, but just going to pass on this game. Would lean towards the Cubs. I just don't really like where the Yankees bullpen's at right now. So Cubs or the over for me in that one. Next game is going to be Miami and Baltimore. So this one is, you got Yuri Perez going up against Brandon Young. So we do have a pitching disparity here. In my opinion, Yuri Perez has looked really good his last 2 starts. So I do think he is able to somewhat keep this Orioles team in check. His fastball velo is looking really good. He was kind of sitting, 98, 99 in his last start. His off speed looked good. I thought his slider was sharp. Changeup looked pretty decent, but he doesn't throw it much. Curveball looked all right. And you got Brandon Young on the other side, and the pitch mix just does not look good for him. Just not a guy I trust. He's 0-3 on the season, giving up a 3.07 opponent average. He's got a 6 ERA at home. Splits don't look good, the lefties or righties. Hard hit percentage is high, 333 average runners in scoring position. We just saw the Marlins kind of put a little beat down on the O's yesterday. Offensively, they didn't wake up. Give me the Marlins on the first 5 as my bet. Don't really want to trust them once we get beyond Yuri Perez, but I think we have a nice matchup here with Perez and Young, where the Marlins could jump out to a little early lead here. So hopefully they're winning after 5 innings. If they tie, it's a push. All right, next game is going to be Tampa Bay and Boston. So this one, we have Ryan Pepio going up against Brian Bayo. Red Sox are hot, man. They've won 9 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10. You've got the Rays, who have lost 3 straight, 3-7 in their last 10 after that really pretty impressive stretch. They've really cooled off significantly. Pepio and Bayo. Pepio's been pretty good on the road. He's got a 3.72 ERA. Bayo's been really good at home. He's got a 3.38 ERA, which is pretty good at this park. Splits look really good. 171 to lefties, 225 to righties. Pepio splits pretty decent, 152 to lefties, but 286 to righties. Hard hit percentage is a little high. First 5 under was something that looked kind of appealing to me. It'd be first 5 under. I think the Rays squeak this out. This is one of those weird Sunday games, but I'm not going to back a team that's on a 3-game losing streak against a team that's on a 9-game winning streak. But it would be like Rays first 5 for me. Would be one of the ways I looked at this, or first 5 under. All right, next game is going to be Seattle and Detroit. Good pitching matchup here. We got Logan Gilbert going up against Jack Flaherty. So Flaherty definitely susceptible to getting hit up, but Gilbert on the road, not nearly as good as he is at home. He's got a 3.88 ERA, but that does jump to 6.64 in 4 away starts. It is a little bit skewed by one bad start, but Flaherty at home, pretty consistent. Got a 3.72 ERA. They're going to get runs off of him. I just don't know if I trust. We've just seen so much scoring in this series, and the Mariners have just uncorked the runs. Over 8 looks juicy. There is a little bit of a chance of rain in this one. 79 degrees with a 38% chance of rain. And in terms of the wind, it's pretty much going to be blowing right to left, maybe slightly in. Runs are actually projected to be up 5%. Home runs are projected to be down. So this is one I would just take the over. I think either the Tigers wake up and just all of a sudden start hitting, or the Mariners just keep hitting. So this is one I almost put this on the card. I really want to, but over 8 for me. In terms of who wins, I would lean towards Detroit. I think Detroit, they've lost 3 in a row. This is a good home team, 32-17 at home. So I look for them to bounce back today in this spot. All right, next game is going to be the Rockies and the Reds. Stupid Reds. We've got Nick Martinez going up against Austin Gomber. This is a dreadful bad pitching matchup. In terms of the weather, 89 degrees. There is a 5% chance of rain. In terms of where the wind is going to be today, it is going to be blowing out, and it's going to be blowing out to kind of left center. So home runs are going to be up 36%. Runs will be up 15%. Just don't trust either of these teams. Rockies team total over 3.5 looks pretty appealing. Nick Martinez has pretty much been batting practice since he had that one game where he took a no-hitter into the ninth, but giving up a 400 average to righties over the last 30 days. Pretty good against lefties at 164. Austin Gomber, kind of the same thing, 250 to lefties, 333 to righties. But if the Reds couldn't get to Blaylock, I don't have much hope that they can get to a lefty. So this would be probably Rockies on the run line. Rockies plus 1.5, you can still get it close to plus money. So that's how I would play this one. Just no faith in Nick Martinez or this Reds offense against a lefty. So that's where we're at there. Or the under. The under is just hitting at a ridiculously high rate. 58% for the Rockies, 57% for the Reds. They just struggle to score runs at home. So under or Rockies on the run line for me. Next game is going to be the Mets and the Royals. Pretty good pitching matchup here. We've got Clay Holmes going up against Noah Cameron. So like this matchup here. It's lefty on righty. Noah Cameron's been decent at home. The better teams have been able to get to him, though. So this is one where we see a pretty high over-under of 8.5. There is a really good chance of rain in this game, 56% chance of rain. And the wind for this game is going to be blowing slightly out. It kind of varies. It blows from slightly in to slightly out. But we get a pretty high over-under here. I almost want to take an under 8.5 for a Sunday. But this is one... I want to take a stab on the Royals, but not sure I can get there. So it would be Mets for me. Just can't really get there with this. I think Clay Holmes is able to navigate this Royals team for the most part. And we've just seen Noah Cameron against better teams. He gets smacked around a little bit. All right, next game is going to be Texas and Houston. Another good pitching matchup. Nathan Eovaldi going up against Hunter Brown. We had an interesting game yesterday. So this is one where the Astros won yesterday. I would look for the Astros today. I think Hunter Brown's able to stymie this team, and Nathan Eovaldi's still kind of working his way back from injury. So not somebody I want to trust. He's just struggled against lefties, 346 average against lefties over the last 30 days, but 125 to righties. Pretty decent with runners in scoring position. Both of these guys have great ERAs, sub-2 home and away splits here. So should be a really interesting game. Maybe a first 5 under in this one. Thinking both teams come out pretty hot with the pitching. I just don't know what we're going to get from the hitters, right? How motivated are they going to be today? So that is the uncertain piece here in this one. All right, next game is going to be Cleveland And the White Sox, is going to be Joey Cantillo going up against Aaron Savali. So Savali's just not somebody I trust. He's got a 4.58 ERA and 4 home starts. Cantillo throws with his left hand, so I like him against the White Sox, who have struggled mightily against lefties. That said, not like the Guardians are torching righties, but this is a good spot here. I like that Cantillo he's a ground ball pitcher, so I think he is able, if he gets in some jams, roll some double plays. Whereas Savali, he is a fly ball pitcher to the nth degree. 70% of his outs come via the fly ball, giving up almost 2 home runs per 9. And when we look at the weather today, wind's going to be blowing out to left center. So I think this is a huge advantage towards the Guardians. I mean, Savali's 1-6 on the season, giving up a 277 opponent average. Love the spot here. Not a huge K guy. Give me the Guardians on the money line as a best bet. Next one is going to be the Nationals and the Brew Crew. So fastball Freddie Peralta going up against Jake Irvin. Yeah, you don't really know what you're going to get out of Jake Irvin, but it's typically not good. On the road, he's got almost a 6 ERA. Freddie at home has been lights out. 156 in 9 home starts. Given up a little bit of a higher average to lefties than I would like, considering the Nats team will have a decent amount of lefties, and his K rate's fairly low against lefties at 24%. Righties, it goes up to 35%, but he is able to keep the ball in the park, doesn't give up a ton of hard contact here, so I do like this, whereas Jake Irvin is very susceptible to home runs, averages almost 2 home runs per 9 innings pitched. He's got a 1.31 whip, just not somebody I can trust here, so this would be probably go right back to that Brewers run line, Brewers team total type of deal. I do have this as 5.5 to 3 as the score. So Brewers run line or nothing for me. Peralta under 6.5 Ks looks pretty juicy too. So I would kind of lean, maybe you could do Peralta under 6.5 Ks and Brewers money line. That would be some nice negative correlation there. All right, next one is going to be the Pirates and the Twins. It's going to be Mitch Keller, probably in all likelihood, might be making his last start for this team. Hard to say, but I think at some point Mitch Keller probably gets traded to some team. Going up against SWR, Simeon Woods Richardson. SWR, somebody I want to fade him, but he's just been outstanding lately. In his last 2 home starts, he has looked fantastic. So not really someone I want to bet against. That said, Keller I think has looked really good as well. He's got a 3.09 ERA and 7 away starts. But he splits right around 200 average to lefties and righties. Hard hit percentage is slightly high. I don't know how you can take the Pirates. They've lost 8 straight. They're 12-37 on the road. Can't do it. So it's Twins or nothing for me in this one. Might even do Twins -1, but I don't really want to battle with that. Now, the issue here is there is the potential for rain. It's going to be 81 degrees, 53% chance of rain. And in terms of the wind, it's going to be blowing out to left center just a little bit. So not a huge wind, but it will be helping. And that's another thing where that kind of works in the Pirates' favor just because Keller does do a good job of keeping it in the ballpark, only averaging 0.72 home runs per 9, whereas SWR is averaging 1.19. So, but going with the Twins here, not gonna take the Pirates. They're offensively just haven't been great. Although that said, they did put up some runs, but can't get behind them. All right, Braves and the Cardinals. Braves are coming off winning the first 2 games of the series. Sonny Gray on the bump going up against TBD. I do believe it's going to be Davis Daniel, but I am not 100% sure on that. If it is, we don't have a lot of innings on Davis Daniel. He's got like 1 inning, so just a staff day for this Braves team. This is one I want to get behind Sonny Gray, but I can't do it at this price. It's just a little juicy, -158. If you want to use it as a parlay piece, understandable. But I like runs in this one. I would be okay taking the over 8.5. I think Sonny Gray is able to somewhat stymie this team, but it feels like the Cardinals are due to score some runs in this one. Another game where we could see some rain, and the wind is going to be blowing out. So it's going to be 90 degrees with a 24% chance of rain, 7-mile-an-hour wind blowing out in this one. So I like runs, and it would be the Cardinals for me. Maybe Cardinals first 5 on the run line, something like that. Next one's going to be the Dodgers and the Giants. Interesting game yesterday, won 2-1, but the Dodgers finally broke that streak. Today they got Yamamoto going up against Robbie Ray. Don't know if I want to trust Yamamoto. He just hasn't looked sharp whatsoever. Not someone I want to get behind. And we got the weird all-star break here. Robbie Ray's been pretty good at home. He's got a 2.48 ERA and 10 home starts, but his lefty-on-lefty split's been incredible. Over the last 30 days, hitters are hitting .053 on the left-handed side. Righties able to get to him a little bit more at 248. Hard hit percentage is a little high. Both of these guys have the same average of runners in scoring position at 188. I can do like a first 5 under. Could be a possibility here, but I want to lean Dodgers, but at this price, you have to take the Giants. So you're getting too much value to take the home team against a pitcher that just hasn't looked super sharp as of late. Just have to trust that the Giants actually show up offensively, but the Giants are nothing for me. Next game is going to be the Blue Jays and the A's. Jose Barrios going up against Jeffrey Springs. Jeffrey Springs at home. He's got about a 4.5 ERA and 8 home starts. Barrios has been really good on the road, 285 and 9 away starts. He's 217 to lefties, 234 to righties. Pretty low K rate, though. 20% K rate to lefties, only 16 to righties. So both of these guys are very low K rate pitchers. Springs is giving up a 340 average lefty on lefty and only a 14% K rate, 184 to righties, but 19% K rate. So those do go up a little bit, but we should see balls be put in play today. It's going to be 98 degrees with the wind blowing. It's going to be blowing out. In terms of the amount, it looks like it's like 6-7 miles an hour. So we're not talking about a huge wind, but it's going to be blowing out in a very small park. So home runs and runs are going to be up today. I like the Blue Jays in this one. Give me the Blue Jays on the money line. We're getting a nice price, actually, to take the Blue Jays. -125. I'll take a stab at that with the significantly better team here. So especially coming off a loss, they're still 8-2 in their last 10. So I like the bounce back factor here. Give me the Blue Jays. All right, next game is going to be the D-backs and the Angels. This D-backs team is going to get sold. They are probably not going to look anywhere near what they look like right now. Highly likely Merrill Kelly, who's pitching today, probably won't be with the team much longer. Zach Gallen's definitely going to get shipped off. Highly likely we see Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor get traded as well. So we'll see some rental players coming up here as some of these teams make their playoff push. But Merrill Kelly going up against Jose Soriano today. Kelly's been pretty good on the road, 3.38 ERA and 9 away starts, but Soriano has not looked good at home. 9 home starts. He's got a 6 ERA, really giving it up to lefties. 230 average to lefties. Hard hit percentage is super high, and you've got a D-backs team that is left-handed dominant and likes to hit fastballs. So this is one I like runs and runs and runs in this one. Give me the over 9. It's going to be 75 degrees in this game, and in terms of the wind, it is going to be blowing out. So home runs and runs are going to be up. It's going to be about a 9-10 mile an hour wind blowing out. One of the bets I do like in this one as well, though, I also like Merrill Kelly to go over 5.5 Ks. Probably knows it's his last start, potentially with the team. I think he goes out with a bang, and this Angels team is very susceptible to Ks. Now, they've been better over the last 2 weeks, but I like the pitch mix here for Merrill Kelly. I think his changeup and his cutter and his fastball are going to be able to keep him off balance a little bit. But unfortunately, he's got a terrible bullpen waiting in the wings when he leaves. So I do think the Angels are able to probably get a couple across off of him, and then a very susceptible bullpen. I think the D-backs go to town on Jose Soriano. So it'd be D-backs on the money line, but I'm just going to take the over and Merrill Kelly over 5.5 Ks in this one. All right, our last game is going to be the Phillies and the Padres. So if you notice, we don't have Sunday Night Baseball, because a lot of these teams, some people are going to the All-Star game, others are just going home. So again, the give a damn factor, you don't know. Flip a coin. You don't know who's going to be trying, who's not. Christopher Sanchez going up against Nick Pivetta. Really good pitching matchup here. We saw the Phillies lose yesterday. Thanks for that, guys. Padres have won 3 in a row, 6-4 in their last 10. Phillies are 4-6 in their last 10. Phillies are 1 game under 500 on the road at 24-25. Padres 31-17 at home. Sanchez versus Pivetta. This should be an interesting matchup. We got an over-under of 7.5. I would lean towards the over, just given how the first 2 games have gone. I think Pivetta's probably going to give up 1 or 2 home runs if he leaves some of those fastballs up like he likes to do. But in terms of the weather, it is going to be wind blowing in from left field. Not a huge amount, but we will see a slight wind in from left. It's going to be like 8-9 miles an hour, which this park isn't like overly receptive to the wind blowing in, so that's okay. and it's going to be 69 degrees. So I guess a little bit on the cooler side. One play I like in this one is Christopher Sanchez over 4.5 Ks. I just think this is too light. He did face them 2 times last year, and he was over that line in both games. So give me Sanchez over 4.5 Ks. This guy is a K guy when he's on, so I like his splits here. A little bit higher of an average to righties than lefties, but still pretty good. Pivetta also doing pretty good, but his hard hit percentage is fairly high. Both of these guys have 2.30 ERAs on the road and at home, respectively. But we've just seen the offenses kind of wake up. So over 7.5. It doesn't feel too bad, but again, it's a Sunday. Just going to stick with Sanchez over Ks. If I had to pick who wins, I think there's value on the Padres at this price. 115 at home is pretty good value. So it would be Padres for me, just due to the value. All right, let's get into our best bets here. Get you guys on your way. First play, like I said, Merrill Kelly over 5.5 Ks. Very susceptible Angels team. He should be able to get some strikeouts for us today. And his over outs is highly favored at 17.5. So we're probably going to get, 5.5 innings out of him. Next one's going to be the Marlins on the first 5. So Yuri Perez and Brandon Young. I think we have a pitching disparity here. We saw the Marlins offense wake up yesterday. So I like him to get ahead just in the first 5 here. Christopher Sanchez over 4.5 Ks, which we just talked about. Guardians on the money line. We're trusting Cantillo. I like the fact that he's a lefty, and this White Sox team has struggled against lefties. And we got Aaron Savali, who be serving up some meatballs right down the pipe. So give me the Guardians there. I think they have the bullpen advantage as well. Bullpen's slightly taxed, but the White Sox bullpen's just trash. D-backs and the Angels over 9. Like the spot here, I think Soriano just gets absolutely rocked. Could do like D-backs first 5 run line too. That's another option. And then we're going to take the Blue Jays on the money line. Getting a great price for a significantly better team. Barrios has been pretty good on the road, and I'm not a huge Springs fan. So that's the plays I have for today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Comment down below what you got. We got a little break here. So what do you guys want to see? Do we want to see some golf bets? Do we want to see some WNBA? Maybe we'll do something, or we'll just take the break off. So other than that, if we don't do anything, the next video will be Friday. So good luck today, guys. Like I said, bet extremely light. Don't go nuts today. This could be a very wild day. So catch you guys in the next video.